you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be true?
I do.
Okay, please have a seat. And then once you're seated, you're going to be asked a series of questions. Please speak clearly and slowly into the microphone in response to the questions, all right? Okay, when you're ready, counsel, you can proceed.
Please state and spell your name for the court reporter.
Alan Zukowski, ALANZUKOWSKI.
And Mr. Zukowski, where are you employed?
I recently graduated from the University of Iowa. I start graduate school at the University of Arizona in August.
Okay, and what are you studying?
I study geology.
And you said you just graduated from the University of Iowa. When did you start at the University of Iowa?
I started in the fall of 2021.
And who was your roommate?
My roommate was Ali Younes.
And how did you come to be roommates with Ali Younes?
He was randomly assigned to my room.
And where did the two of you live?
Slater Hall.
And so when was the first time you met Ali Younes?
In person was the day that we moved in.
And did you live in Slater for the whole year with Ali Younes?
Not for the whole year, no.
And why not? Excuse me, I'm going to rephrase that. When did you not live with him anymore?
In late October, he moved out.
And where did he move to?
I believe Birch Hall.
And when you lived with Ali Younes, did you see items in his closet?
Yes.
You lived together. The dorms are small. You would see each other's wardrobes.
Yes.
And did you see that he had a puffy coat?
Yes.
Do you remember what color it was?
Red, white, and blue.
And in April of your freshman year, so April of 2022, in late April, did you get a hawk alert?
I did.
And do you remember that?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I received a hawk alert on my phone. It was a public safety notification about a crime that occurred near our building west. Along with that hawk alert, there were photos of the suspect, and I noticed the red, white, and blue jacket and pictures of the suspect I recognized to be Ali Younes.
And what did you do when you knew that it was Ali Younes?
I called the phone number provided on the hawk alert.
And what did you tell them?
I told them that I recognized the suspect and that it was my old roommate.
Nothing further.
Cross-examination?
I have no questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You can step down. Next witness, please.
The state calls Detective Tiffany Lord.
All right, good morning. Please come on down to the witness stand. If you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be true? Okay, please have a seat. And then after you're seated, you're going to be asked some questions. Please speak slowly and clearly into the microphone. Go ahead, counsel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please state your full name and spell it for the record?
Yeah, Tiffany Lord, Tiffany. Last name's Lord, Lord.
And what is your occupation?
I'm a digital forensic examiner for the University of Iowa.
And first of all, are you a police officer?
I am.
What was your education and training?
Yes, I have a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity. I also have my certificate in digital forensics from the Des Moines Area Community College. I'm also a member of the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists, where I have my CFCE, which is the Certified Forensic Computer Examiner. I also have my MDF, which is the Mobile Device Forensic Examiner. I've also attended some training at NCFI, which is the National Forensic Computer Institute through the Secret Service. I've also attended some training at NW3C, which is the National White Collar Crime Center,
And where are you employed officially?
the University of Iowa.
And by the University of Iowa Police Department?
Yes,
And do you have a special assignment?
I do.
And what is your assignment?
I work for what's called JFACT, the Joint Forensic Analysis Cyber Team.
And what is JFACT?
We do digital forensics there, so any sort of digital evidence, whether it be computers, tablets, phones, anything that's digital, we will take that and make a copy of that evidence and then process that evidence so it's in a readable format for the investigators or myself.
And when you say we, who are you talking about?
Yeah, I work with a team. So on the team is Johnson County, Iowa City, North Liberty, Coralville, and myself.
Police departments?
Yes.
And so you don't spend your time out on the street anymore?
No.
Where do you all have an office, or how does all this happen?
We do have an office on a location that's undisclosed to the public, off campus.
And were you know why you're here today?
I do.
And were you asked to process a phone in this case involving Ali Younes?
I was.
And whose phone did you process?
It was Ali Younes' iPhone.
And do you remember when you were asked to process it?
It was April 26, 2022.
And when somebody asks you to process a phone, what do you do?
Yeah, so like I was stating earlier, what we do is we take a copy of the phone because we want to have a workable copy instead of changing the actual evidence. So we plug it into what's called a gray key that takes a copy of that evidence. And then I processed it through Celebrate and Axiom. Both of those are just something that makes the file system into a readable format for myself or the investigator to actually view what contents are on there.
And in this case, were you asked to process the phone for location data?
I was.
And did they give you a time frame for the location data?
I was told that it was on April 25th, 2022. I don't remember the exact times, but it was somewhere between like 10 p.m. and just before 11 p.m.
And in military time, what does that?
In UTC time?
Yes.
In military time, yeah, so 2200 to about 2300.
And did you do that? And did you plot those locations on a map?
I did.
Your Honor, it's already up on the screen. You can see it on your screen, I think.
I can.
Showing you what's been marked States Exhibit 18. Do you recognize that?
I do.
And what is that?
That is a map of the locations from that night.
And would you mind, Your Honor, the state would offer States Exhibit 18 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
Exhibit 18 is admitted, and it appears to already be published. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask if it's okay for the witness to approach the screen.
Yes.
Okay. Can you just orient the court to, and you might want to stand on the other side so Judge McKeever can see it. Is that better, Judge? Orient the court to what we're looking at.
Yeah, so this is going to be north, south, that's east, west. This is Capitol Street right here. This is the IMU bridge. This is, to correct this, it's not the Hampshire footbridge, this is the IMU footbridge, and that's the Hampshire footbridge up there.
Okay. And can you go through and, so what are the red dots there?
Those are different locations that the phone pinged off of to show where he was going.
And so there are some places where it's not just one red dot, but it looks like there's for lack of a better term, a blob of red dots. What does that mean?
That's just multiple locations that are in that same area.
And could you point towards just what the path was in terms of the cell phone data that Mr. Younes took that night?
Of course. So this doesn't have a timestamp on it, but this is actually Burge Hall here. This is the starting point from what I pulled locations from. Then he continued north here on North Capitol Street, up here to this is Slater Hall. Continued north up here into the woods, then went west on the Hanshaw Footbridge, and then came south in this trail right here, went behind the Stanley Museum of Art building, then behind right here, and continued behind the building near the Iowa River Trail, and then went over here, which then continued west, which, as you can see, is the Art Building West area. Right here in front, there's a little trail going, so continued there, which goes through the pond area, then went up here near the parking lot area, then around, and this is at 2217, he was behind the building, then came back over, and then you can see that continued east, went back up, north, here, north up here, and then continued back south, where then he went over east on the IMU bridge over this way.
Thank you. You can sit down. And so the location started about 10 o'clock or 2200.
Correct.
And they end at around 2245 in
Yes.
terms of what you plotted.
Yes.
And did you also examine the phone for phone calls?
I did.
And were there any phone calls of note during that time period?
Yeah, there was a call to Lima that was only 4 seconds. After that, there was a call to Maria Ortiz, and there was a couple phone calls to her.
And was that at the end or the beginning of the path?
The end of the path.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Is it detective?
Yes.
Detective work. I just want to clarify. Do you have your exhibit on there
I do.
so that so that you don't necessarily have to come back. It looks like you've got the phone being located at 2202 up at the top of your exhibit. That's the Hanshaw Footbridge, correct?
Yes.
And then I think your testimony is that the phone moves down to 2220. Actually,
That's when he goes back up.
yeah, that's my question. The next one that you plotted is down, I think it's 2208 behind the art building.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So, I mean, from your exhibit, one could assume that this phone and who had the phone was traveling down that path, right? But on your exhibit, there's no plot between 2208 and 2202. Is that right?
There's the one circular plot right above north of 2220 that just doesn't have a timestamp on it.
Oh, okay. And, I'm sorry, where is that one? Can you?
Yeah, so you see where it says 2220, where the most, I guess, the northern point between the Hanshaw Bridge and that, there's just a circle there with no pin or, you want me to come show you?
Is it right above where it says 222031 between
Yes.
Stanley Museum of Art and Theater Building?
It is just north of that, yeah, between, yeah, yes.
Okay. So you're saying that the pin is, the yellow pin is the 2220 between Stanley Museum of Art and Theater Building.
Correct.
And that circle is just What is the circle then if it doesn't have a label?
It's a location also. So not every single point on here does have a timestamp. It's just the key points between.
And if your circle doesn't have a stamp, does this exhibit at least tell you whether that is closer to 2202 or closer to 2220?
Not on here, but I do have a timeline, and then my report also states all the timestamps.
All right, and then you got 2208 behind the art building, and then your next plot after that is 2213, and now we're over to the left side of your exhibit, over toward art building west. Is that correct?
Yes, and we're on the southern side of the art building.
Okay, all right. And then later you have the phone crossing the bridge to the bottom of your exhibit, which you have corrected. On the exhibit it says Hancher, but that's actually the IMU bridge, right?
Yes.
And so you've got the phone plotted on the IMU bridge at 2225, and then making it across to the east side of the river at 2228 and 2230. Is that right?
Yes.
I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Redirect?
Were there any times that phone was located at Art Building West prior to this time period that's plotted?
Yeah, so in the early hours of April 24th, it was around, I think, 2:45 to 3 in the morning.
And you plotted the phone at Art Building West at that time?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else?
Exactly what you were just asked, that was the day before,
Yes.
like not the night of the incident, but the previous morning?
Correct.
Nothing further.
All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. You can step down. Next witness.
The state calls Josh Lubbock.